Hey there, what is up? I'm James. We're back in a nerd room doing another top 10. So today we are doing the top 10 nerd room Marvel comic MCU figures from the year. So we've had 9 waves come out between January and December. I'm just getting to the list now because I just finally finished the SPDR wave. So I just want to make sure I'm going into this list fully loaded and try not to miss anything. So I have a couple of criteria. I won't put Build-A-Figures in, and I will try as hard as I can to not put a reissue in. Like if it's like a flagrant copy of, say, a Spider-Man for a Spider-Man with no differences at all except for a slappy paint job, then I'm not going to put that in, but I'm going to try to, do things or put figures in with difference on them. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, if you guys liked what I'm doing, hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Leave a comment. I'm always good to respond. And if you haven't done so, please hit that subscribe button. It's a small channel. I could always use a few more subscribers. Everyone could. So if you like what I'm doing, you want to keep on watching what I'm doing and find out what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button. So anyways, we're going to do a couple of dishonorable mentions and some honorable mentions before I hit the list, so let's get on to those. So these 4 figures are probably the figures I dislike the least this year for different reasons. First up is Gwenpool. I don't like the forced pose that they put her in. Just that whole, the selfie. I mean, it looks good, but if you want to put it in the context of, say, having an action sequence in your diorama, really, she's just going to sit there and take a picture while, say, Captain America's getting the crap kicked out of him or whatever. So, next one is Paladin. Basically one of my, they made a figure out of him selections this year. Just, he's, I get that he's a mercenary, but did you have to make a figure out of him? Wasn't necessary. Next up is Serpent Society, or the King Cobra. I just find that, I get that he's a figure, but his power is he's a constrictor, so it's kind of hard to, have him use his power with the articulation that is given. And not to mention, I don't like his paint job. It works for a Green Goblin, doesn't really work for this guy. And the last, and certainly the least, is a Malekith figure. It's my pick for worst figure of the year. Just look at him. It's a pastiche of just terrible. I mean, I get you're being true to the character, but just, he's a guy you're going to put in the back of your collection and let him just live there forever. So let's get to the sunnier side of the honorable mention, shall we? As he is with pretty much everyone else, Sauron is my favorite Build-A-Figure of the year. Just the incredible design, the detail, the wings, the paint job, everything makes this figure just pop, and he's fantastic. So these are my honorable mentions. I'm going to start off with Ghost Rider, the classic Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider in his blue and light blue. He's in here because his motorcycle is fantastic. I love the design of it. I love the fire of it. So that gets my best accessory of the year. Best repaint or reissue is the Archangel. I wanted to put this one in the top 10, but I'm not going to put any reissue figures in there. So obviously the paint job is incredible. Just evocative of the 90s Archangel. They finally made a figure of me in a good way. I have to give it to the Black Knight. Just fantastic. I know he's some reused parts from other figures, but in the end, it's very cool. And best of all, if you want him to be a hero, he can be a hero. He has 4 different heads, so you can make him the bad guy too. And my 11th place figure is the Tiger Stripe Wolverine, I should say. Mostly a reused figure, so I didn't really feel comfortable putting him into it, just except for like the head, that's a new sculpt, and the shoulder plates. I didn't really feel comfortable putting him into this if he's just a repaint of the Retro Wolverine. So it is what it is. I know I'm probably with flack for not putting him in, but just too many used parts for me. So coming up next is my favorite 10. You don't have to agree with my list. It is what it is. This is just my personal view. So everyone has figures that they think they should be in the top 10. So I'm not going to knock it. So anyways, here's my top 10. So for number 10, I'm going with the Mysterio figure from the Lizard Wave. A very hard figure to get, so I had to get this one online myself. Just look at him. Details, fantastic. Paint is, comic accurate with the green and the purple. I like how everything works with the dome and the head especially. And I dig the vapor clouds on the bottom. He's a little back heavy, but, awesome figure regardless. And for number 9, I'm going with Deathlock from the Sasquatch Wave. And he kind of demanded to be on the list, more or less. Just the detail, the design of the figure. I mean, look at him. How could he not? He's got to be on a lot of people's list. And just look at the head. Nothing says awesome like zombie robot. Am I right? My number 8 is a Spider-Punk from the Lizard Wave. If this was done 10, 20 years ago, it'd be seen as a cheap gimmick to sell some toys. But he's an active part of the Spider-Verse storyline in the comics, so it's just a fantastic figure. I love the detail, the spikes, the buttons, the sneakers, everything. Probably the best Spider-Man figure of the year. Omega Red from the Sauron Wave comes in at number 7, and look at him. He's a fantastic update of the old Toy Biz figure. Great detail. I love the hair on him, the contrast between white and red, so they stand out. And just look at the dude's face. It's just, he's intense and he's ready for action. So for number 6, I'm going with Dr. Octopus, Doc Ock from the SPDR Wave. Why? Well, look at this. Just this pose right here, the lack of bendy wire, the stiff tentacles, just scream awesome when you're doing your posing. And not to mention the colors and the comic accurate costume as well as the face kind of demands that he's one of the best figures of the year. Number 5 goes to Boxer's Deadpool, the funniest figure you've seen all year. Probably the most spot on to his personality. And let's face it, come on, if you're Deadpool, somebody comes in, you're not going to get dressed. You're going to do what you have to do and take names or whatever. And it just gives you hope that down the line you could see a Mr. Baghead figure down the line. Who knows? So for number 4, I had to go with Bishop. Why? Just look at him. He's nostalgia incarnate. It reminds me of the old Toy Biz figure I had of him with a quick draw. Just the mold is awesome. He's got that fantastic look in his eye. And, it's comic accurate. So, nostalgia isn't necessarily a bad thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in 2019. Possibly the most divisive figure I've seen in a very long time. I'm going with number 3 for Spider-Ham from the Venom Wave. It's a figure that I've always wanted to see. Does he have leg articulation? Not so much, but I'm not complaining because he's a fantastic figure. He's been in the front of my Spider-Verse line, even though he doesn't have the webbing on him. He's still a fantastic figure. He's been in the front of my collection, and I will defend him to the end. Number 2 is a figure that I had to have after seeing pictures of him from the various toy fairs and cons. This is the Cable from the Sasquatch Wave. He's in his 1990s, early 90s motif. Very cool. Just a lot. Like the big gun. He has the giant packs of ammo on him. The metal arm is fantastic. And not only that, they didn't shirk on the lighted eye, so that's a very awesome design. So, if Cable's at number 2, then you must know who's number 1, because he hasn't made his appearance on the list yet, has he? And number 1 goes to the ever-loving thing, the Walgreens exclusive Ben Grimm figure. And how could he not? It's just a fantastic piece of art. It transcends being a figure. Whoever sculpted the figure, whoever designed it, deserves kudos. They deserve a raise. Just how they could just transfer idea to figure is just astonishing. Just look at him. He's always been in the front of my collection ever since I got him, and he's going to be in the front of my collection for years to come. The Thing is number 1 to me. So those are my 10 favorite Marvel Legends comic book based figures from the year 2018. Do you agree with my list? Probably not, but that's okay. You guys probably have different figures you like. Whatever, no, that's pretty cool. Everybody has their right to like what they want, and this is my right. So, it is what it is. For some reason, these figures spoke to me a bit more than, say, the other ones. But I digress. Got a brand new year coming up, brand new Marvel Legends. Looking forward to seeing what these waves are coming out with. So let's put an end to 2018. Unfortunately, thank you guys so much for watching the videos throughout the year. I really appreciate all your support through the toy hunting, the collecting, the frustrations, whatever, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I can't thank you guys enough for just watching these videos. I mean, I just do these for a hobby, just to keep my sanity on my days off. So thank you guys so much for your support, for your watching, your liking, your commenting, for subscribing to the channel. If you haven't done so, why don't you hit that subscription button and let me know that you dig what I'm doing. And bottom line, thanks. That's all I can say, and I appreciate you guys watching. So see you in 2019, I guess.